Okay.
So if you're doing a left brain corporate job and you start doing something more artistic, creative, or teaching yoga, the energy that you're using most dominantly will switch around. So your left brain energy would recede, and we'd see more of your spiritual, creative energies come forward. But day-to-day mood fluctuations, we don't even see it. If you have a huge breakup or a loss, we're going to see it in the heart chakra because it's a big deal. It's not just a mood, right? But if you're in a bad mood, you're still going to be creative. If you're hungry, you're still going to be an entrepreneur or whatever energy you have. And then lastly, you can shift. You can consciously shift your energy. So if you have spirit guides in your aura today, this is number one, like you do, then you can actually tap into that more. And as you begin to meditate more and tap into that, those guides will become even stronger. So you can consciously shift your aura. If you have a broken heart chakra, as that heals, the energy will resume. Oh my goodness. Okay, these are not your average auras. When I'm out at Dove Mountain, I'm doing corporate events. We just did Ford Motor Credit before COVID for 2 days. I'm seeing a lot of red in those auras, and I'm seeing a lot of like a gold green, which is left brain linear corporate energy, right? And I'm not saying you guys don't have a strong intellect. Oh my gosh, woman. You gotta move to Sedona, come work for me, all y'all. Yes, you do. You have the total old soul aura. Yepper.
Maybe that's why we get along so well.
Yepper, you all do. I'd imagine you'd had some kind of past life together. That's how it was with my best friend in college. We were like sisters. We were completing each other's sentences. We knew each other like the first week that we knew each other. So it was crazy. But I'm telling you, there's connections I believe that we've had before. Now, look at her. The deeper the blue, the older the soul. We'll get to that. And then you, right? And then, oh, and that's weird. You guys have the same kind of guide coming into both of your photos, and she doesn't have it. That's interesting. Soul connection. Soulmates. Yeah. All right, so here's the deal. Now, I picked yours first because you went first, but also because of the duality, okay? People are either blues and whites and pinks, like those up there, or you've got the gold, green, yellows that we talked about at the corporate events. You have both. Now, what that means is you have this side of you that could run a business, that could start your thing, that could run a nonprofit. You do have that part of you that could organize and structure that. You like to hustle in that way. But your need to do something that makes a difference on a soul level, that is intrinsically rewarding as far as your career, is becoming more and more important. So I don't know what you currently do, but energy comes in this side of the photo, guys, and it leaves this side. I'm not saying you're abandoning all logic and reason, but that little kind of bean counter, logical mind, that's still there. You're not going to lose that, but this is all spiritual energy. There's your face. You have blue. This whole area is blue, which is the old soul, okay? And y'all have blue. Blues are cool because blues are, well, it's a blessing and a curse, really, because we're empaths. We are more sensitive to energy. And it doesn't mean we're not tough. I'm an alpha female, but at my core, total marshmallow. And so as these kind of sensitive beings, we can read people. You can sense someone from across the room, okay? And as a result, we are the old souls that have come to help the lost souls. Now, we're going to get lost ourselves, right? When I first heard that, I'm like, what do you mean? I'm lost. I'm not helping anybody. No, that's perfect. That's your training. You better have had some life-defining moment in this life that got you empowered with who you are, that got you aware of your self-love and claimed it. And now you can go out and help the people around you in a job, in a career, even in your personal life, that you're giving that back. And you'll be authentic about it. And so people will resonate with that. And so what I'm trying to say is, we're going to get to all the angels because you have a fleet on top of the blue. That's why you see all this white stuff, okay? But the base behind there is the blue person who's here for a higher purpose, who will go through a lot of their, we're going to go through more of our fair share than of our challenges because we're here for the most growth as old souls. It's our last life. We're wrapping it up. But at the same time, we're here to help other people. And so it doesn't mean you have to go save the world all at once. It can be on a small scale or a grand scale. But when you're giving back, crusading for a cause, making a difference, something like this, that's when you're going to feel most alive. That's what a blue craves. And if we're just doing numbers in business, like you could be an amazing financial consultant. You've got that cool left brain, right? You can go and advise and mentor and coach these people on their finances or whatever it is, IT, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're somebody that wants more intrinsic rewards and motivation. So who's your team? Are you mentoring some guys that work for you? That's what I'm talking about. So it doesn't mean we have to go and be social workers. But even in a corporate job, am I the mentor? Am I the trainer? Am I the teacher? Am I the advisor? What am I doing? Because blue is all about communication.
Yep.
We're the teachers, the advisors, the counselors. It's all throat chakra, guys. And it has to have some kind of meaning. If you're just sitting in an office at Honeywell, making your boss rich, that's not going to feed your soul anymore. And so coming out of this COVID, what are you doing that has meaning? If it's your career, great, expand in that. But if it's not, then what are you doing when you're not at that career? Because you could start a men's meditation group, and that could be your whole spiritual give back. I have two women that they live in California, and they were accountants by day, and they started a meditation group, right? They're partners, but they had like 3 women at first. They played the meditation off their phone because they didn't know what they're doing. They're now up to 28 women. They now organize retreats, and twice a year they come to Sedona with their 28 women from their meditation group. So if your job isn't feeding that spiritual part of you, you can totally put it in your personal life. And now they're quitting their day jobs, and because they're accountants, they can run a business. They're doing these retreats that they're taking people on all over the world. And that came by default, just starting a meditation group. So I know things are kind of locked down, but what is your current job now?
I'm an IT software engineer.
Yeah, I knew it. And the reason I knew you were something left brain like IT or engineering is because that's what you output. Okay, this is your output side. And again, I'm not saying you have to quit that. You're good at that. He's got that little sequential thinker in there, right? Mm-hmm. And so you can weigh the pros and cons and the numbers and present things in a sequential manner. And so you need that to do your job, and you're good at it. Mm-hmm. But my friend, this is the other side of you. Yeah. The job is just the job. What is your old soul spiritual side doing? You have guides all around you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This whole area is comprised of these little orbs. And then you've got a layer up in here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You got about 15 to 20 spirit guides. Are you meditating?
Yeah.
Okay? Here's the deal. You can have 100 spirit guides, but if you're not meditating, you're not going to hear them, especially in your line of work. Because your left brain logical mind will be so busy computing and factoring and figuring that the right brain, which houses your intuitive and creative center, the side that gets the messages, the intuitive hits from your guides, if the left brain is too loud, you can't hear it. So we don't want to kill his left brain because he's got a job to do. But we want to get you to open the right a little more. So the meditation is the key. And I'm going to tell you all about it because everybody should be doing it. And here's the thing. If you hear nothing else today, meditation is not complete silence of the mind. Okay? I just wrote a book on this. It's just focused thought. Everybody's given up on meditation thinking they suck at it because their mind doesn't go silent. Well, our minds aren't going to go silent. We're naturally mentally active in Western society. So what's going to happen is it's just going to slow down. And even if thoughts come in, just don't attach to them. They're going to rush all in there because you're quiet. But just don't attach to them and bring it back to your breathing. So you can hike. That can be a meditative practice. You can do Tai Chi, yoga, walking around your neighborhood at night. Mm-hmm. I go running in the morning. I'm focused on my breathing and my stride. In that moment, I'm being a human being, not a human doing a bunch of work and paperwork, right? So I'm present. I'm mindful. And that's what opens my right brain. And then here's how the guides will speak to you. Because I don't walk around hearing voices. Some of my readers do. But I meditate at night just for 10 minutes. 10 minutes I do a little app. I do Headspace. 10 minutes before bed. If you like to do it in the morning, go for it. 10 to 15 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week is all that's needed. And if you're on vacation and you miss a week, no big deal. Get back to it when you can. But I do my meditation before bed, and I rarely get an answer during the meditation, whatever I'm asking or grappling with, right? But you guys, I'll be driving to work the next morning, and epiphany after epiphany just lands in my head. Or I'll be standing at Starbucks. Here's my next book title. I've been trying to think of it for a year, and it just lands in my head, right? It's because I created the space before I went to bed, and I either start having dreams about stuff. I had a baby at 44. I was seeing her in my dreams the whole year prior. So that whole pregnancy, I didn't worry because I knew she was healthy, because I already saw her healthy. The books that I've written, I was going to write books. I was a school teacher out of college. I started meditating. I'm telling you, girl, not just books are coming through, the titles, everything. I went up writing all those books. This center, this was a vision. We were realtors in California. My mom was going to Unity Church and they started meditating. She kept seeing these red rocks. She didn't know Sedona was a place. So, 5 years later, when we got off on the wrong exit, we're like, oh my God, here it is. We got to build it, right? The center. So you don't know what's going to come through, but don't just use one side of your mind. You're brilliant. You're smart. You've got the left brain developed. What about the right? You've got to expand the other side of your brain because here's the thing about you. The duality is that you are very smart, you are very left brain logical, but you're also totally creative and intuitive and spiritual at your core. And that's why you've gone through the stuff you've gone through in your life. I don't know about you guys, but I got spiritual when I had to save my life and get out of emotional pain, right? I was an addict. That was my thing. But I in that getting through that, I learned everything about myself. And now I help people in recovery all day long if that phone rings. So my point is, if it's not your job, that's the service and the spiritual. Do your meditation group. Bring more friends next year when you come to Sedona. Make it a little retreat that you guys do. I led dolphin tours around the world before I had kids. No crap. I took people swimming with dolphins and I got paid more than teaching.
Wow.
So start thinking how you can honor the spiritual more, because coming out of COVID, we want more meaning. And if you don't know, just keep meditating. And all these things are going to start to drop down. I wasn't going to write a vortex book, but I woke up one night and I'm like, what is the vortex? I have to write the book. Oh my God, what's the vortex? That thing's in like its 10th printing. And again, that came from my higher self. So you've got to, especially, and let me tell you this, most people's guides are not in their aura. At corporate events, I don't see white orbs. They're way outside. I'll see maybe a handful out of hundreds of people. So this is a big deal. And I worry if this job, don't run home and quit your job, by the way.
I did.
Oh shit, I was going to say this. I'm wondering if this job is no longer going to feed your soul, my friends, because once all this is coming in and this is on the going out, been there, done that. You need to live with more meaning. You're a soul being, you know? A lot of people can just do their job for 30 years, their 401k is growing, and they're feeding their family. Commendable, great, but not us. We're deep, we're soulful, we're growing, we're shifting. We're literally like introspection and spiritual growth, ascension. So when that's going on, typically just the routine job, it starts to become less fulfilling. That's the problemo. So what are you going to do to mentor, coach? Maybe you're just going to be more of a free consultant. And you do that, and then you start doing your meditative stuff. Because here's the deal with you. You don't need to be babysat. You're an independent contractor all day long. If you're working for somebody else, it's stifling you. You're somebody that can plan their own day. You can self-govern. You can schedule your clients. So you are better as an independent contractor. So if you're going to do your same job, I say you go out and you become the consultant that gets to travel around more and is not stuck at a desk, okay? Because it's sucking the life out of your soul. And then, my friend, how can you use this higher guidance? Well, you're going to start meditating. So they'll start giving you little clues. You'll start bumping into people, like these synchronicities. Everything increases. But you guys could just start a meditation group. Hell, have 3 of you, 4 of you, right? And there you go. That's honoring this. And then you never know when everybody in your meditation group or your Tai Chi group says, hey, we want to open a wellness center. Do you know that they're doing Reiki at the Cancer Centers of America now down in Scottsdale?
Oh.
They have a Reiki wing. You've got people that learned Reiki in a weekend because you just have a mentor give you the attunements, right? They're working alongside doctors doing healing. They're seeing cancer shrink. Fertility clinics. All the chiropractors in town here now have craniosacral therapists working with them. Craniosacral is just hands-on energy work that they learned in a weekend because they already had the ability. They're already old souls. So it was in them. They just had to kind of remember. So more spiritual work. Healing, that's just one idea. You do the consulting and maybe you're going out and you're doing kind of charity things or crusading nonprofit causes, things like this. But you've got to live with purpose if you have a blue aura. Because if your pilot light goes out, you're just, and you start backsliding, you'll get very depressed. So for the blues, that's what they need. Go be a traveling consultant and then start developing more yourself spiritually. That would be ideal for you. And then as you do the spiritual stuff when you're not at work or the next conference or the next whatever, it doesn't even have to be New Agey. It could be a Tony Robbins, success conference. I don't care what it is, but something spiritual, some kind of conference retreat. As you do those things, opportunities start opening up. A friend of mine went to Celebration of Life conference. It goes all the major cities, Chicago, Scottsdale, everywhere. Deepak and them are at this thing. Dr. Dyer was before he passed away. Anyways, she used to go every year for 4 years. One year she went and she was talking to the girls that work for Deepak and they were looking for more people to do their marketing, their publicists, right? She works for them now. She travels all over the goddamn world with Deepak Chopra just by going to those retreats. She was a bartender by day, but she was able to segue. Another friend of mine, hairdresser, Tony Robbins fan. His conferences are a lot of money. So she's one of those people that sets up the chairs and does all this stuff, the whole little team. She goes every year for free. And now not only is she's gone for a decade, Tony Robbins follower, she's this hairdresser that also does intuitive counseling on the side. She's got her medicine card, she does readings, she motivates people like Tony Robbins, she helps them find their dream job. She's got a whole second career. She only does hair on Saturdays now because she's too busy being an intuitive counselor. So coming out of COVID, people are looking for motivational speakers, counselors, healers, holistic stuff, not just traditional. I had 2 orthopedic surgeons up in Louisville, Kentucky that during COVID, the first month, they got their meditation coach certification, probably online. And they opened a wellness clinic next to the hospital. So for pain management, because everybody's getting hooked on pain pills, they now do meditation and acupuncture. Holy hell. Their people are healing in half the time. These two doctors are writing a book.
Wow.
So, you never know. But we're seeing traditional and holistic blend like never before. What's your mission? What's your mission? What's your thing? What have you gone through that you can help other people with? Because that's when it comes full circle. I always thought I was cursed with this whole addict, alcoholism, whatever. But once I started helping women get sober and saw them get their kids back and out of prison and all that kind of stuff, it's like, that's why I had that. I wasn't cursed. That was my training because I'm supposed to be helping people with this. That's when it comes full circle. You don't go through your own struggles and then not, help other people that might be in the same place. You gotta help them across the bridge. Okay? All right, Mr. Duality. I think you're going more into the spiritual realm, the more free, independent. You're better when you're not micromanaged. If we have you out roaming about, you're going to be happier because your soul can breathe. And it's not that you're just being a defiant brat. It's that you can figure it out. You can self-govern. So that's what that's about. And you'd have to repress that part of you that can self-govern in order to be micromanaged in a job. That's why it doesn't work. You'll do it for a minute or two. I mean, you'll do it for a couple of years and it's like, this sucks. Go be free and then develop more spiritually. And what else are you going to do coming out of this? Okay? Blues are the intuitive teacher, counselor, healers. So that's a broad arena. That's a broad arena. You might just do podcasts on personal stuff that you've gone through and conquered, and before you know it, you're helping all these people. You got a podcast, you got your followers, and you guys are bringing them on retreats. Spiritual retreats where they're having life-changing experiences. I mean, that's what you're geared for. As are these two. You could all work together. I mean, look at this mama here.
Hey.
Girl, the deeper the blue, the older the soul. You keep coming back life after life.
Wow.
And you have definitely all known each other before somewhere, right? So as a blue, I know, get your voice memo.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Okay.
So in order to, okay, hold on. He's meditating, and then I want him to do one more thing. There's a book called How to Hear Your Angels. How to Hear Your Angels is a book by Doreen Virtue. So now that you're meditating, and I kind of mentioned briefly, the signs are going to come in dreams, ideas that just land in your head when you're not thinking, when you're kind of vegging out. Other people will say something random. Instead of Jamie, vanilla latte, they'll say Jamie, Clarkdale, or somewhere I'm thinking of moving. Or you got to pay attention, okay? So Doreen Virtue talks about how to tell the difference when it's just your mind making something up, because we have good imaginations, or is it actually my higher self and my guides? So she teaches you how to recognize it. I'm sold out of her book, but they have this on Amazon. But you got to do the meditation, and then you do this, and I'm telling you, you're like, oh my God, I have all these great ideas. Where are they coming from? They're coming because you opened it up, okay? I wanted to say that before I moved on.
Thank you.
With you, Chica, how do I want to say this? You kind of become the Mama Dr. Phil, the one that's listening to everybody's problems and all of this in any situation. So your job title really can be secondary, because wherever you land, people are coming to you and telling you all their stuff, and you're like, oh my God, what? Why? You don't even say your name half the time, and they've told you their whole life.
That's true.
So you are, again, the communication, the advisor, the mentor. Now, you don't like to be around people all the time, and you need your solitude more than most, because you're clairsentient, and you take on energy of people. Now, when it's good friends, good energy. We're taking that on. We like it. But if it's negative, toxic, bitchy women at work, women are all catty and da-da-da-da at work, you're taking it on. Blues absorb it, especially in indigo. So they're very clairsentient. Clairvoyance see visions that the average person doesn't. Clairaudience hear what the average person doesn't. You sense energy. So you can read people. You can meet someone and go, they got an agenda. There's something creepy. There's something off. You can meet someone and go, oh, no, that's a good person. I like them. Something about them. So you want to trust your gut instinct, but at the same time, you absorb negative energy. So if you're hanging out with some bitchy, oh, woe is me, victim all day, you start to feel that heaviness. So you absolutely, it's going to sound a little Sedona here, but you need to get a Himalayan salt lamp. A Himalayan salt lamps, they sell everywhere now. They're at Target, Pottery Barn. Himalayan salt lamp, that will clear your energy. Or you need to get one of those UV light ones. The doctors, in between patients, are going to these UV rooms with these big things and clearing their energy. Well, lo and behold, it clears negative energy, not just germs. Or get a sage wand. Sage wands are great because guess what? They're inexpensive. You light the thing, it doesn't go on fire, it just smokes. And you can do your house, you can do your own self, and then you just stomp it out in a little abalone shell or the concrete and reuse it. Native Americans have used them for hundreds of years. So I don't want you to be paranoid, but here's what I want you to know. If you're hanging out at Walmart all day, or if you're around negative people all day, just clear your energy when you come home. When I do a big corporate event, I just do my little UV wand and I'm good. Now the other thing is for you, you don't want to unnecessarily subject yourself. We're not going to live under a rock, but all the fear-based news, all that stuff coming at you, girl, you take that in. So you'll be like having a panic attack, Wednesday at 4, and you're like, what the hell? It's from the news you watched Tuesday night. So don't be ignorant. I'm not saying don't stay, informed, but at the same time, don't unnecessarily subject yourself to that. The horror movies, the crazy people are drowning and burning on the news. I kind of go on like a softer news version, or I'll have my husband give me the update, what I need to know. And half the time he goes, half of it you don't want to know, babe. And I go, okay, because I'll be anxious the whole week. We're picking up on the whole planetary. If you're not feeling this energy of the whole planet, holy hell. And we're feeling it even more, guys, because we're blue. So we're the sensitives. So we just got to clear our energy a little more during this time. And then for me, I need solitude. Got to have your solitude. I'll read 15 auras like yesterday, and then I go home and I chill. So you've got to have your solitude. Not long periods where you're like, a hermit. But your solitude is how you decompress. Because you, girl, you'll be at the grocery store. People start talking to you there, telling you their problems. So that's how you're going to decompress. Now, who you are is the problem solver, the peacemaker. People come to you for stuff. So if you're working in an office or some normie job, you at least want to be in the management side of it. Because you're training all the newbies coming in and doing all this stuff. Because they're going to come to you anyways to do everything. So they may as well give you the damn leadership title. So these are my managers, project managers, all of that. However, you creative, how are we using it? I suck at cooking, so I don't cook. Painting, not really my thing. Writing, I discovered in my late 30s. So maybe it's just your cool pictures or something. But try to have some creative outlet for yourself, because it's kind of squished over here. Okay? What's your current job?
I am a social worker. I'm
okay.
a victim's advocate.
I had it wrong. I feel energy, but I'm not the psychic that knows your name unless you tell me. I was hoping, I love social worker because it's perfect. We just said it's service, right? You're here to help all the lost souls. I was a special ed teacher. But for a brief moment, I thought you were hair or nails or something. And what I was going to laugh about is, those are great jobs for using your creativity, and then you're the counselor all day, right? But girl, social worker, you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Social work, the thing I hated about social work was the freaking paperwork. So if you can get more into, see, here's the deal with blues. We are psychic. Not in the way that we see lottery numbers like the Hollywood psychic, but we're psychic in that we sense people. We can meet someone and we know what their light and potential is as soon as we meet them. So you're here to help people actualize that. So I love that you're in the job of empowering, crusading, saving, helping, right?
Yeah.
And all of that. But the more that you can get out of the office, I know the paperwork's a requirement, but the more that you can get out and kind of go out or train the new people coming in under you, that's where you really, really get most of your fulfillment from, is the interactions with the people, not just the sitting behind the desk paperwork, or at least the training, new girls coming into the office, because blues are teachers, we're trainers, we're advisors. It says right over here, Mother Teresa vibration, desire to be of service to others. That does not mean we love everybody. Oh, hell no. But you were bound to be drawn to a service job. You just were. Remember, we're sensitive at our core. I see, my daughter wasn't feeling good yesterday, so we had to take her to the doctor, and there was this little baby in there, just bright red. You could tell he was burning up, just crying, and the whole time I was distraught over this child. So with his mother, well, I wanted to go do something, or can I bring you, something? Do you need ice? Do you need, So that's in you. So that's why the call to the higher purpose work, okay? And it's always going to be that. But if you wanted to go off and start your own thing ever, you could as well. You could as well. Now, how long doing social work?
Probably 10 years.
Holy cow, girl, you're in it.
Yeah.
So you don't want to quit that because you've got some tenure, I would think? Stuff towards retirement? How does that work?
No.
In social work?
No.
No,
it doesn't work that way.
But you like the job. You're able to get out
yeah.
in the field. Are you working now with the COVID?
Oh, yeah. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're an old soul helping all the lost souls. If you can get into the women's empowerment side, I don't know if you guys get to help the women and all that, find the jobs and stuff like that. Because here's the deal with you. You're a tough cookie. You're sensitive at your core. You have a sweetheart, but she's tough. This one's alpha female right here. So you're do good teaching other women empowerment and how to stand up for themselves and speak up for themselves, even children. So you're a real advocate for that. So anything where you're on the empowerment side, I think is awesome. Do you get to train any of the newbies since you've been doing it 10 years?
I do. I'm actually a supervisor.
Love it! I heard project manager, so I couldn't figure out exactly if you were the manager, director, supervisor. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, that's because you know what you're doing, you're strong, and people are drawn to that for direction. If I go into an office and I've got a couple of sensitives and someone that's all over the place, what do you do today? and then I've got someone that's just hustling, and she's grounded and centered and smart and edgy. Well, that's where I'm going. So you're always going to be in that management supervisor role. That's exactly why you need to unplug when you're not at that job. You're too fun. We don't want you as the parentified adult, like doing adult all day. You can't just be adulting. This one's fun. You're going to travel. You're going to see the world. I want you to find something creative. Maybe you just redecorate your house. I don't know. But you have that creative side too. It's squished. You don't really use it as much, but it's there. So just try to pull it out every now and then, because as simple as it sounds, guys, that feeds your soul. And if intuition and creativity are both in the right brain, even if you're just baking lasagna, you're more intuitively open. So a lot of my messages will come through when I am forced to cook, but when I'm writing. Sometimes I'll write a whole paragraph that I didn't have prior knowledge of. It comes through me, okay? So that brings me to, are you meditating?
Every now and then,
Okay.
I try to.
So I'm going to write down a book for you. It's called The 8-Minute Meditation. The reason I'm writing this one down for you is because it teaches you how to meditate 2 minutes if you got 2 minutes, 10 minutes if you got 10 minutes, but it's perfect for someone that's busy. But the 8-minute meditation, because your guides are there, but they're you're not hearing them because your mind's too busy. So they're very back there. They're very obscure, if you will. See how they're kind of faint?
Yeah.
You start meditating, and within 2 to 4 weeks, those guides come forward. And now you're just having more intuitive ideas, just like we talked about with him, okay? So if I were you, I would do this little 8-minute meditation. You can even do it at your desk if you have an extra minute. And what it's going to do is a couple things. It's going to open up your creativity and obviously your intuition, but you're going to be more grounded and centered. So as a manager, when everybody needs something and there's like a million things to do, you're more grounded and centered, so you don't get pulled out emotionally into all of that, okay? And you can actually multitask more, and you're more clear. When I started meditating, I started just making decisions. I wasn't asking all my friends, taking a poll, second guessing. You just are going to become much more grounded, centered, and empowered, okay? So that's why you want to do that. And like I told him, a couple times a week. Don't make it some weird diet you don't want to stick to. But you know Mama Dr. Phil, and this is a very psychic aura. Someone on this side, this is a guide over on this side. We know because the orb in the middle and the shape of it. And so this is someone that you knew in this lifetime that crossed over, that's come back around you. So I don't get names, but when you meditate, you'll probably start seeing that person the first couple weeks that you meditate, in your dreams or otherwise, okay?
Okay.
Do you know who it might be?
It could be my aunt.
Yeah, it's a strong female, but it's like almost like a masculine alpha energy. So she had to be kind of a strong butt kicker, and then that would be her. But so that's right there, and then you have all these. So the meditation just keeps you open to that and not missing it. Okay.
Cool.
This one's fun. You got to go swim with the dolphins and do some kind of cool stuff. Swim with the dolphins. Go to Hawaii. Do your thing. Do you do any type of what do you do when you're not at work? Do you do a lot of travel? Do you have fun?
I try to. I hang out with my friends and family.
Okay.
Nothing much.
Yeah, I'm not looking to switch anything up. She's pretty balanced and cool. The only thing I would add is the meditation, because I would want to see what these angels have in store for you. Okay? Now here's what's funny about you. You don't like a lot of drama and chaos, but it all finds you. Because he's the one with the water buckets trying to put out the fires, right? And so one thing about you is you are in touch with your emotional body, okay? You're very balanced in your masculine and feminine energy. A lot of people aren't. We're lopsided, one or the other, right? So you're very balanced. You've done a lot of work on that. But as a blue, not to be redundant, you're also here for the consulting, advising, how to make a difference, how to streamline people's lives. Hell, even my accountant, that service, because he's easing my fears and helping me prepare for the future. But for you, anything creative. Are you cooking at home? Are you doing anything? Do we have an herb garden?
I do like gardening.
Okay. You need something
And
that,
I cook.
yeah. I see him very hands-on, kind of crafty. And that, I'm not going to give you that meditation books or any of that or the apps, because when you're doing your little cooking, your little gardening and all that, that's your meditation, okay? Now, going into job situations, you're supposed to be the person that focuses on the solution, puts out the fires, and gets everybody to the end goal. Blues are the visionaries. And a lot of times blues are not the worker bees running around doing 100 million things at once, but they're the ones kind of at the helm, keeping everyone going towards the vision. Now, do you work for somebody else, or have you been self-employed?
I've never been self-employed. I work in healthcare, actually.
Okay, so you're getting all the benefits and all the problem solver, peacemaker, evening out everybody's worries and fears.
And I'm in hospital administration. I'm actually in sales.
Oh, sales.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good for communication. I did sales in college because blues, we're talkers. We can speak to anybody. What's great about you in sales, you can read the client walking in the door. So for me, I never missed a sale because I knew when I had to be, like, close the deal because this person just couldn't make a decision to save their lives, or if I had to totally pull back because this guy just wanted to be the one that is making the decisions, right? So I never missed the sale. So use your intuition. Do your cooking and gardening because that increases your intuition. But for you, I hate to say this, keep your job because it's service and you have a job. A lot of people don't right now. But more spiritual work is going to be the thing that kind of calls you more, okay? So when you're not at said job, like I said to him, what are you going to do? Are you just on your weekends going out to eat, or are you wanting to do something? You could start some kind of nonprofit. You could just do a charity thing once a year that's your cause and that's your thing that you do annually. But here's my point. You have the ability to help a lot of people because you've been through a lot. And a lot of people, you guys, don't have self-love. They're still struggling with being okay with who they are. And so if you have that, in your personal life is where you can do your service and helping people. But you're here to motivate, coach, mentor. Right now in your job, you're putting out fires. You're the problem solver. You're getting everybody what they need. And that's important so they can live and pay their bills. But at the same time, and you both have, you guys are connected. You've been together before. So this is a soulmate connection type of thing. But you also have such a spiritual. The spiritual auras are blue. It's the old soul energy. We're empaths. We're the intuitives. We're the people that have been here before in other lifetimes as healers and teachers and advisors. And so I'm just concerned if that is filling you. My perfect scenario is he goes out and becomes an independent consultant. You keep doing your job for now, especially if they let you work from home. That's the best of both worlds. And then you do your meditation group, or you plan your next retreat, or you book your thing to go swim with the dolphins. Take her, of course, because she's fun. And she like your sister. But that's the thing, is you've got to play more to when you're not at work, what is feeding your soul. We can't just be about our jobs, especially if we're spiritual beings. I mean, he's got the beads on, and So here's the thing. For a while, I didn't read a lot of books spiritually because I didn't have a lot of time for that, but I would go places. Swimming with the dolphins, spiritual experience. Traveling through Italy, major spiritual stuff going on there. So just plan your trips and plan your stuff to feed that soul side. And I'm telling you, if y'all ever just wanted to start your own health and wellness clinic and do Reiki and intuitive counseling and coaching, you totally could. But for the blues out there in the real world that aren't in Sedona doing the spiritual work, you've got to be in the problem solving, the service, the higher purpose. But if you don't in your personal life do your meditation or your seeking or the 4 agreements, right? The 5th agreements just came out. Having little books that you read or things like this to keep you expanding and growing, then you start to feel restless. And that's when we start looking at each other going, oh, my job sucks. Or maybe it's you. Maybe it's the relationship. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. People aren't antidepressants. They don't need to be. They're just not on the right path. So make sure that you're doing some kind of spiritual seeking. Have you ever thought of doing something totally different?
All the time.
Yeah. I can feel it in strongly. You kind of like your little thing. You're used to it. It's comfortable. You're good at it, right?
Yeah.
But let's get out trying some new things because here's the deal. Whenever you try a new experience, even just an aura photo, you can't stay stuck in your old dimensions. You don't have to buy into everything, but try it because we're here for expansion and growth. We didn't just come in to do what our parents did and then exit the planet. And you guys had the total Sedona auras. I had a client like this for 5 years. She works for me upstairs now doing readings. And I'm not saying you aspire to be a psychic, but what soulful, spiritual, cool thing could you do? These women with this retreats, they are genius. They rent those air-conditioned buses now, the vans. They rent the Airbnbs, and they just, add a little extra to price in their trip for free. And they're out there doing medicine wheel ceremonies and this and that and readings. And these women come in on a Monday. They all do their auras. And then they come in on Friday, and these women are changed. They called me last week. They have 59 people they're bringing. How the hell made it 59 people in the office? And they were accountants, but they were big in the communities and the service, and so they have all these friends. And now a couple of them are thinking of moving to Sedona. I mean, it's cool. And this year they're going to do a retreat to, if things open up okay and we can travel, they're going to do a retreat to Costa Rica, Drake Bay, swimming with the dolphins. And I'm telling you, you can make a living doing this stuff. I did 4 trips a year, 4 retreats, and I didn't have to work the rest of the year. I was sitting home writing books. Now's the time, you guys. What did we learn about all this COVID? And life is short this time that we remember. And so guess what? You got to go for it now. My son is 18. His father died at Christmas, which sucks because his father was, he was just a real good guy. He owned the gym in town. He was Dudley Do-Right. He coached all the teams for the kids. Everybody loved Paul. Big, bald, intimidating guy, right? Well, he just one day, boom. And that was that. So I'm working less now. I just restructured my schedule. So I'm working more, but I've got it 3 days on, 4 days off, right? Because I want time to do more traveling and stuff with my kids. Life is short, right? So that's the lesson Paul gave us. But also, his son, my child, is 18. He's not the kind of kid that can just go to some 9-to-5 job. He goes online, orders these things. I'm just giving you ideas. There's so much you can do. These clear germs, also I've talked about earlier. We've sold 4 cases. He's 18. He's sitting at home making $6,000 a month because he just looked online. He goes, Mom, people coming out of COVID, we're going to need stuff. He didn't want to do masks because everybody else is doing masks. But he's selling these wands. And he's going around town doing all the shop owners. And the kid's making $6,000. He's 18. I said, I'm going to work for you. But you see, so think outside the box. People, everybody that came in my store, what's a vortex? What's a vortex? I had to write the book because I was sick of answering the question. It's in its 10th printing. So you can still do your jobs, but then have this retreat thing, or this annual nonprofit thing you do, or your Sedona sojourns, you know, and you can still have that spiritual side of you. Because you especially are going to become more and more restless if you don't get out of that, well, you quit the job. If you don't get out and moving about and not be locked in an office, like, it's never going to work for you. It's not good, okay? And then for you have a pretty chill job, but you have a lot of blue, and you have spirit guides, which is why, you know, you have them everywhere like her, but you have to tap into it a little more. Okay? And if you don't, he could do nothing. And just go, that's cool, I have a blue aura. And I'm spiritual. I'm an old soul. And leave it at that. But I sure the hell wouldn't waste it. Because my concern is you'll become more and more kind of restless. The healthcare, the same paperwork, the da-da-da-da-da. You've got to live with purpose. And it's easy to light your pilot light. You try something new, you never know when that's going to be a thing you do. My friend was traveling in Hawaii 8 years ago, and she saw these organic juiceries everywhere in Hana and all this. Well, she opened one up here. She put it next to the yoga studio. Genius. And she's like, you guys, she's 29. She is crushing it. She's going in like her 8th year, and that business is just fed. She was smart. She put herself next to a yoga studio. People want this stuff. The acai bowl place, also friends of mine. The float tank place, also. They came in and they said, Sedona's a healthy place. There's a need for this. People are going to want healing, and boom. So you guys could have a whole side business going, and it would be pretty kick butt. If not, keep doing what you're doing. But if you feel restless, you better start thinking about that meditation group or taking a Reiki class or something. Okay? Or come work for me. Now, this is stress. Who the hell doesn't have it right now? So the yellow-green is just stress leaving. I'm going to say you're not going to pick up more when you go home. But for now, when you unplug from your daily routine, this is very regenerating for you. Now, are you guys going out to the Vortex sites, or are you just at the hotel?
We went to the Vortex.
Went to Airport Mesa.
Yeah.
Airport's cool. And also, Cathedral Rock is one of the best. You enter it through Crescent Moon Park, Red Rock State Park. It's also called Crescent Moon. Oh my gosh. And you don't have to climb any spires in your cute sandals. There's bridges, water. It is brilliant. You go out there. I have people that go out there for like an hour. They come back and they've got all these ideas. It tends to be something that drops down all these ideas and kind of inspires. So I would definitely go out there. I've had people come out of this area and they're like, I know what I'm doing. I'm starting this and that. So it tends to be a place where your intuition is very heightened. So I would check that out for sure. And then Red Rock State Park. I used to be able to write and talk, and I can't. So that's one of the strongest vortices. I'd send you up to Chapel, but that's just an emotional one. I think we're not needing so much that, but more the inspirational one. So you literally can just drive to it. Everything's flat. You can't get lost. You always come back. But it's one of the strong ones. And then a great stone for you as this old soul problem solver. I would have a past life regression at some point, especially you. You've had a lot of cool past lives as like running villages and stuff, and so you were a leader, so you definitely want to do a past life regression at some point. People always goes, what do I care about my past life because I'm in this life? Well, in my past life, I saw a lot of things that I was called to do in this life, so it was confidence building, I guess. And then when I did step in to be a teacher, it's like I've been teaching my whole life. Well, then it made sense to me when I did the regression. But you're so spiritual in there, and you've had so many lifetimes of that restlessness is going to be strongest in him if you don't start looking into some of these things. And you don't start chanting and burning incense and getting all, like that. Don't try hard, but it's in you so much. And in Tucson, are you able to be in a place where you have nature or anything?
Yeah, actually, we're not too far. There's a lot.
Okay. So hiking, all that stuff, that can be your meditation. Don't sit here and if it's too boring, get out there and move. Okay? Now, I was joking, but kind of not joking. If you guys ever wanted to learn about healing, or your intuition more, or Reiki, or anything like that, there's this guy up the canyon. His name is John Barnes, and he has a whole school, Therapy on the Rocks. They teach all kinds of healing and stuff. But if you were to tap into Reiki or healing or anything like that, it's going to feel like deja vu to you because you've done it before. Okay? This thing, you need to come work for me. This mama right here, this is the most old soul. But here's the thing. I didn't know I was spiritual until I started tapping into it. And then it all came forward, right? So I was just out there doing my normie life. So if you start meditating or start doing anything, it's going to come flooding back like within a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And then this is pretty cool. You've got guides all around you, but again, you have to quiet the mind to tap into it. I cannot stress enough that these are only 15% of the auras. Yesterday, I think out of the 15 I read, 12 were all red and gold. So these are a little different. That's what I'm saying. These are a little different. So if you ever wanted to start a center or anything like that, I never tell people to work together, but it would be a perfect working relationship because the synergy of the energy. Right?
Oh, God.
And then I have 15 people that rent space for me. So it's like you have to go in and just start your whole own thing. You have other practitioners working with you. You can offer more things. Just my 2 cents. At least start the meditation group. But these are cool.
Yeah.
These
Thank
are cool.
you.
Oh.
And those nails are fabulous.
Thank you.
I can't get them because I have a toddler, and I'm always afraid I'm going to like stab her.
Oh, you probably
that's
would.
it. Right.
That happens.
My daughter has those coffin nails. Those are the thing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like them.
So what are we doing today?
Heading back?
Yeah, we're
Well, I guess
back.
we're gonna like
Oh.
make a segue
We're
out
definitely going
to.
to Cathedral Walk now.
And here's the other thing. You can go out of town that way, and it's a hell of a lot quicker. If you go out the 260. People don't know that. People coming in Sedona, everyone's coming up through the village of Oak Creek and the parade of traffic. If you get off of the Cottonwood 260, you just come in the back way and there's no traffic. Zero. So if you go out this way, so you go up to the one, you go left to go to Crescent Moon, and you go all the way out of town, there's the high school. You're going to see that's right after the high school. If you turn left, that's where the whole vortex is. And then you can just continue on that road and you're at the highway without having to deal with the traffic.
Oh, cool.
So that's what I would do.
Nice.
But come on, guys, you got to do something. I see you as some spiritual teacher with podcasts and all kinds of stuff. So I know, it's hard for me but to not tell you what to do, but I'm just recommending.
It is true. I have felt the restlessness.
Yeah. And so you quit. Are you going to try to be more independent consulting?
Well, I actually got another job in a different department.
Okay.
But I also got an interview tomorrow for an IT consultant at like Roche Diagnostics.
I kept hearing consultant. I think you're going to get that job.
I'm hoping so.
You're going to get it. Yeah, consultant. And then you do your meditation groups and all your stuff when you're not at the job.
Hey Jamie,
Yeah.
just let you know you've got about 13 minutes.
Okay,
till your
I'm
next one.
lecturing.